So can we talk about like the various aspects of one's mental health and how that can get ruined as time goes on if people stay in that people pleaser mindset too long?
Yeah, people pleasing, I would say, is sort of like a gateway drug to burnout, right?
Yeah.
It is
Yeah.
this, because we really lose track, as we said, of what you want, and that can really erode your sense of self, which we know is
Mhm.
so core to our mental well-being. And so I say, like, people pleasing is also, it's like we're always like, it's this emotional, credit card debt that we keep sort of racking up, right? We keep
Yeah.
spending energy on other people, and even energy that we don't have, right? Mental energy, we can talk in lots of different ways. Like, we have so much energy, time, mental, emotional energy, and it becomes this like continual sort of siphon or drain, because we're constantly putting our energy out to others with the hope, right, that it's going to come back to us. But really, we start then confusing sort of being agreeable and again, pleasing other people with being worthy. So that mental sort of, again, what's so important is that sense of self-efficacy and self-worth that is such at the core of our mental health starts to erode, because then we start to, like, we start to resent other people,
Mhm.
because we are again, putting all of our energy out that we don't have any energy back for ourselves.
Yeah.
So it really can just lead to burnout, depression, anxiety. We're then sort of, overly anxious about, always trying to be on the lookout for how we can make other people, or like any little piece of negative feedback can really then have a hard, impact on our mental well-being, because all of a sudden, if it's like, if they don't like me, then I'm not worthy as a person, right? Because we're
Hmm.
so into external validation instead of that internal self-worth.
God. Yeah. So yeah, obviously there's like, multiple different aspects to that, right? Like you will burn out because you're wasting energy on things that you don't want to be involved in. You'll have anxiety and you're going to build this like anger and resentment, especially towards people that caused, you to be in this place where you're constantly people pleasing, right?
Right.
And that pretty much leads into the next point where you talk about like invisible invoices,
Right.
right? So like, where does that concept come from? And like, again, like, why is it important for people to understand that if they want to take care of their mental health in the long run?
Yeah, I love this metaphor of invisible invoices. For me, they're the mental and emotional receipts, that we keep after doing something that we didn't really want to do, right? So
Yeah.
it's sort of, we're expecting a gold star or a thank you in return. And so again, it's those things that we keep when we really didn't want to do them. And so the
Yeah.
kicker, though, is why they're receipts is like the other person never actually asked for that favor, right? So they don't actually owe you anything, right?
Yeah.
Oftentimes we're doing that. And so invisible invoices sort of keep us trapped in this cycle of overgiving and disappointment, because we're waiting to be validated for things sometimes that nobody even asked us to do, right? We're just, so it's this invoice that we're keeping track of all of these things, and sort of waiting for payment,
Yeah.
mental,
Yeah.
emotional sort of payments back. And actually, sometimes we're running around trying to make everybody happy, and they weren't even asking us to do those things, right? And so
Yeah.
that again leads
Hmm.
back to that. Again, we're looking to be validated for services nobody even asked for sometimes.
God. Yeah. So again, that pretty much comes down to just being kind and polite, but again, with the intention of getting some sort of validation rather than just being kind and polite for just
Yeah.
the actual act of being kind and polite. Right?
Yeah,
Okay, cool.
exactly.
Great.